in like fields, and people would say, "Oh, it completely flattened out the field." That's what the guy was saying. How the field was.
Like calcined or calcined?
Yeah.
Like they pour something there and it stopped the vegetation from growing.
Yeah.
That's weird.
All right. So let's go over this next strange fact I'm finding, which is over Miguel and his niece. So right before Miguel and Manuel boarded the bus to head to Niterói, Miguel had a short convo with his niece. Now, this is a rough translation that someone had found, so bear with us real quick. Are you going to where, uncle? No. Are you going to where, uncle?
Par Sao Paulo.
You'll do that in Sao Paulo?
Buy a car.
In Sao Paulo? Why do not you purchase here? It's cheaper.
I need to know one thing. Then when I get back, I'll tell you if I really believe in the story of spiritualism or not.
So who heard this rough translation?
It was in I guess like some article or something, and they just translated it to this. So, of course, when you translate it, doesn't ever come out completely right.
Yeah. Okay.
But supposedly the niece was going past the bus station and saw Miguel and Manuel and stopped to talk to them to see what they were doing. So they were talking about buying supplies.
She knew something was up.
Yeah, because we're going to go out of town to go buy a car. Like, why don't you just buy it here? It's cheaper. Then he says, they're going to go check out to see if believing in the story of spiritualism or not. They were going to go try to verify something up on that hilltop.
Okay. All right.
It's interesting.
Yeah. So what's this next strange fact and finding we got?
Well, this next strange fact and finding is over some missing documents. This case was publicized in Hotline, global program showing great detail about the incident. During this program, they had asked about the reopening of the case so they could analyze the documents, but somehow the box that contained the entire process of the case had just disappeared.
Pretty convenient, huh?
The
Everything seems to disappear. The Epstein footage, the Pentagon 9/11 footage, just all thrown away.
The missing money in the Pentagon.
Yeah. Missing $2 trillion. Gone.
Who misplaces $2 trillion? I know I wouldn't.
I wouldn't either. I tell you what I'd buy with $2 trillion.
All the Whataburgers and make them better?
No. I'd buy them all just to close them all down. All right, Dan, what's this last strange fact and finding we got?
All right, this last little strange fact and finding that we have is about the note that they found with the two. The note that they found with Miguel and Manuel. It was already strange enough with the cryptic message on it, but what makes it a tad bit stranger is the fact that days later after the incident, they were reviewing the note and discovered that it was neither Manuel or Miguel's handwriting on it. And also, no empty capsules or anything were found by the police. Yeah, so someone else wrote them that note. They were just following the instructions on it.
You think it was the two men in the Jeep?
Dude, had to be.
Yeah.
Had to be something like that.
I guess that rolls us into our theories, right?
Yeah.
And our first one that's on the list, which is my personal favorite, which is called spiritual overdose. So this theory is that the men, Manuel and Miguel, were apparently attempting to contact extraterrestrials or spirits using psychedelic drugs. These men believed that such an encounter with a spirit would be accompanied by a blinding light. So to shield their eyes, the men cut metal masks to help protect their eyes and took some psychedelics, to which they took too much and ended up dying of drug overdoses. Or they ended up taking the psychedelic drugs, not realizing they were actually cyanide, and boom, died on the hill.
So they took 2 capsules each, 2 hours apart. So you think it was like a very, very low dose of cyanide?
They didn't take 2 capsules, they took 1. They each took 1 each.
Thought they took one at 16:30 and then one at 18:30.
No, 1630 was to be at the hill. 1830 was to take the capsules.
Oh, I thought they took it 2 times.
No,
Oh, then no, yeah. Shit.
Spiritual overdose.
Okay, I can see that. I mean, they were spiritual electricians.
Yeah, they were part of that spiritual group of the electricians. That psychic, or not psychic, that yoga guy did say that he believed that they overdosed on drugs.
I think it's called Kardecic spiritualism, if I'm not mistaken.
Look at Dan dropping all the knowledge nuggets right now.
All them knowledge nuggies.
Dude, I did so much reading yesterday on this shit. And sadly, I would put more, but first started finding Aaron had already put on here.
Damn right.
And I'm just like, damn it. It's like, I thought I found something good.
All right, so what's this next theory we got?
This next theory is just hold on, just stay with me, but it's actually pretty it's actually a pretty, plausible theory. So these two were part of some cult just like Heaven's Gate. It's believed that they could be part of the Kardecic spiritualism, which is about 1.33% of the population of Brazil in a census taken in 2000. Spiritualism revolves around the idea that humans are essentially immortal spirits that temporarily inhabit physical bodies for several incarnations to attain moral and intellectual improvement. That a cult con artist had convinced them into taking a pill and committing suicide based upon their belief of leaving their physical vessel. I can kind of see that.
Yeah. It is kind of like Heaven's Gate.
Yeah.
If that was the truth.
Yeah.
Now, something else that I was reading on, I don't know if either of you read about it, but every now and then I would see somebody mention money. That they had 3 million, not dollars, but 3 million of whatever currency that they had. But to convert that to US dollars, you could buy a small car with it or something. But when the police found them, the bodies, they were missing a lot of the money, which makes me question, how do they know that they had that amount before it went missing?
Yeah.
So that's why it wasn't put in the story. But I did read about it, which makes me think maybe, to kind of like hypothesize here, maybe they were a part of this spiritualism. They knew the electricians, or the spiritualism group knew electricians had money and said, hey, gather up a whole bunch of money, use it as an offering to this spiritual guide or whatever on top of this hill, and we'll give you a pill to help you see this spiritual guide, and it will help you attain whatever you want. So they go on this hill, they get the pill, unknowing to them that it was cyanide. They take the pill, end up dying right there on the hill. Spiritualism people come by, say, whoop, thanks for the money, leave off the hill, and then little boy Jorge comes by, flying his kite, which I heard that he was either a little boy. I heard a lot of people say you're a little boy, or he was 18, which I don't know why an 18-year-old is out flying a kite, but more power to you.
So in Brazil, they have these kites called like fighter kites. And I guess they're like they're different types of kites. And these ones, I guess, are very fun to fly for even like adults and everything. So it's like kites are like a very big thing in Brazil.
Okay, well, no judgment. I mean, that's cool as shit, you know? I wish we had fighter kites over here.
Dude, have you tried using those kites that have like the 2 handles that you have to like go like this to fly it?
No, but I will tell you one time. I went to Walmart and I bought a regular ass kite. And then I bought another one and I took the string off the one of them and tied it to the other one and let that son of a bitch off in like 2 miles up in the sky. Okay, it wasn't up that high, but it was super high up there in the sky. I was like, hell yeah.
You know what I used to do? Our parents wouldn't buy us a kite. We would take some chopsticks and some paper and try to make our own kite. Did it fly? No.
That's kind of sad. That's kind of funny and sad.
We were running around trying to fly these kites made of chopsticks and paper. It was just drag on the ground. But hey, we still had fun.
Yeah, it's all that matters, you know? All right, so what's this next theory?
All right. So this next theory, this one, it kind of works, but then again, it doesn't. You know, we found on the interwebs when we were researching, and it believed that these two were actually in contact with the, I guess, like a source to purchase some radioactive material. The pill was given to them by their source, who told them, that it was an anti-radiation pill to help with the material that they were buying. The raincoats were supposed to help with them decontaminating themselves easier after handling the material. The belief that the whole time they were getting supplies before the meet time, they were actually, really nervous. Their source probably gave them this pill, which was like cyanide, I guess you would say, poison, for security measure, and figured they were, acting weird. So they would take it, and their source would have a pill that would cure it or stop it if things went south, you could say. But what also backs this up is supposedly the area, like we were talking about earlier, where the bodies were found, small traces of radiation, and the vegetation there has not grown back regularly where the bodies were found. And a Redditor who lives in Brazil, who said they've done like a bunch of research on this, stated the same exact thing. They've been up there and that the vegetation just does not grow back at all.
I don't really think that would be a far-fetched idea. Are either of you familiar with the Guyana incident? I believe I'm pronouncing that wrong, or I might be pronouncing it wrong.
Explain it to me real quick.
Well, Time Magazine called this the worst nuclear disaster up there with Chernobyl, and the International Atomic Energy Agency called it one of the worst radiological incidences ever. And not many people know about it. So it was like in 1987 in Brazil. There was this abandoned hospital there, and two people illegally entered this partially demolished hospital facility, and they started disassembling these units that the hospital had